Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Xa Talk Show. So we are going to code emacs Lisp today, and it's probably going to be boring because it's all pure emacs Lisp technical, okay? And it's a bit complex, the problem. And if you have not already, just search for Xali emacs Lisp tutorial. You will find several of my emacs Lisp tutorials live stream that is for beginners, okay? And today is just me coding emacs Lisp, probably dry for you. So this is my keyboard expose keyboard, and you can find my review. Just search for Xali expose keyboard or Xali keyboard review, okay? So let's begin coding. So video check, audio check. Okay, so let's change the color here to, the expose. Okay, that's what I'm using. Expose keyboard. Okay, so let's begin coding emacs Lisp. And I'm using Xafly keys. I'm using Vorak keyboard layout, and on the pink window, you can see all my command calls and keystrokes on the pink window. So as I delete something or insert a character, you'll see all the commands and the keystrokes I press on the pink window. Okay, so video check, audio check. Let's begin. So let me tell you what are we going to do today. So the other day, two videos ago, or one videos ago, we did write this function XHTML change local link in string. Okay, so that's 2022 November 25th live stream. So we wrote this command, and today we are going to call that command. We are going to do something similar. So this command is the core, the core functionality, the engine to do something. And today we are going to write two wrappers if we have time. We're gonna write some Emacs command that uses what we did last time. So let me show you what we did last time. So so this is important. So let me show you. Okay, so here is a command. Let's open a new window. Let me show you. Okay. So a new window. Yeah. So let's put it here. So this is a command, and let's go to XHTML mod. Actually, describe function and type the command name. There it is. Here is a command and documentation. Let's jump to the source code, XHTML mod. So this is what we wrote the other day. Okay, let me do a quick demo of what that does. Okay, so let's start a emacs Lisp code block, emacs Lisp. Okay, paste the code here and pop it out into a buffer. Let me show you what does this command do. So let's go to programming blog. So what that command do is that, you see, this is my programming blog showing browser. You can see there are several links. Intro to Wolfram language Mathematica, for example. Go back. Lisp and Wolfram language. Go back. So there are several links. Now, I write a lot HTML, so oftentimes I need to copy this block of text, which is these links. I need to move it somewhere else. Let's say, let's go to xali.info, for example. Info index file, okay, showing browser. So this is my home page, xali.info. So if let's say I post it to the top, I paste it to the top. So, siphon my knowledge into your brain, assimilate my sensibilities to your spine. So I pasted above that and showing browser. You can see, I pasted those, links here, this block of list of links. And now I click on them, they no longer works. You see, because the relative URL is all incorrect because you are changing structure. So let me elaborate. Let me show you some screenshots, this is the tablet. Fantastic. Okay, so let me show you. So what I'm gonna say is that you have a directory. Directory have lots of structures. For example, now if this is a page, each one of these is a directory. Directory is a tree structure. So if you have a page here and you copied some text, and you want to move it to here, or if you wanted to move it to here, or if you want to move it to anywhere that's a different level, then all your local links will no longer work. They will only work if you kind of copy them to the same level of directory, the depth of directory. So because I write HTML so often, I need to copy paste part of the link to different pages. So that's why we wrote a command yesterday, and this command is, let me show you. So open that again. Now select the whole. This is XA HTML mod. So you can see again, you can see the command code. I'm calling XA HTML select element. Cancel, for example, that allows me to, for example, select the link, press the key again, select the outer parents, the li list, press it again, select the ul list. Okay, now delete it, show in browser. So you see we removed it. We undone it. Okay, good. Now let's go back to the programming blog. So let me demonstrate what the command we wrote yesterday does. Okay, copy it, close it. So you can see the documentation, all important. It takes 3 arguments: text block, current directory, and target directory. So we are going to call this command. First of all, we have a text block, which is that one. And in emacs Lisp, all double quote, straight double quote needs to be escaped. So let's escape them. You need a backslash in front of it. So call command XA escape quotes. That command is on my Emacs tutorial. Just search for name. For the name, you will see it. Okay. So for example, we just called XA. Oh, it's not there. The command won't show if you do meta x. So anyway, XA escape quotes. Okay. So the first, let's describe function again, show the documentation of this command we wrote the other day. So the first argument is text block, then you need a current and target. Okay, so we need 2 more arguments here. Now the current, the directory where this block came from is my programming block. Copy the file path, close it, put it here. Okay, now let's say I want to move it to let's just say okay, so copy that, paste it. Let's say I want to move to some file, one directory above. Okay, so this needs to be a directory. So so this function, 3 arguments. Okay, let's call it. Control U, then call eval last sexp. Symbolic expression. That's what SEXP means. Symbolic expression. Okay, so here's that will return the result of this function of this. You see, we call it eval last sexp, and because we press Control U first, so it will insert the result here. So now you can see. You see. Now, if you compare the links, you see there's 2 dots there, but here the 2 dots is gone. So here is now, this is the correct, the text block with the correct local links fixed. So this is why, now let's delete that. This is why this command is useful. But however, right now it doesn't do nothing because we have to go to emacs Lisp, call the function, and it let's do it again, and it returns the result. Then you have to copy the result. You have to copy it. It still doesn't work. You have to remove the quote. Then you have to unescape those escape. Then you can paste to the destination. So that's not good. So we are going to write a wrapper command that let us just, let's say this command will be called XHTML paste and fix local links. Okay, and that's what we are going to write, and it's going to call this command we did yesterday. Okay, so this continuation. Okay, that's the function we want. So delete this text block. Let's say defun. Let's start to write the command. Okay, defun. Here's a command name. Documentation or important version, today's date. Okay, so this command, what does it do? XHTML paste and fix local links. Okay, so basically you copy some text block, can be arbitrarily long, and then you go to some page, some file, you open some file, then you can paste it. Then all the local links will be correct. Okay, so that's what this command do. So it's documentation, document it. Okay, paste a HTML text block. Wait, this won't work. Such that local links relative path are fixed. Okay, now this will be command, so you can press meta X to call it. But however, this won't work because when you, for this command to work, this change local links in string, for it to work, it needs the original directory and where this text block came from, and it also needs a destination directory. So that means if you are writing this command, you need to somehow tell it where is the original directory your clipboard text came from. Okay, the destination directory it knows because it's just a current file, but there's no original directory. So what you gonna do? Hello guys, so any comments and questions posted there? Okay, JR, hi, and hello Sam. Sam says, could you explain the concept and the dynamics of inserting and clearing a buffer? I'm assuming it is a memory data structure if I'm on the right track. Okay, what do you mean inserting? Inserting, for example, I can copy this text and just insert it here. So that's insert, that's emacs, just or you can, for example, I can copy that and paste it here. So, or I can open a new buffer, paste it here. So that's paste. That's insert. So that's insert text. You can, in emacs Lisp, or you can say, you can call the command insert, and it takes one or more strings. Let's say something. Okay. So this is a emacs Lisp command to insert some text. So if I evaluate it, it will insert wherever my current cursor is at. So if I just evaluate it, if you look at the pink window, you can see the command I'm going to call right now. Okay, do it. You see, it inserts something. So that's insert. So what do you mean? Okay, explain. Is my answer satisfactory, or what is your question? I don't understand. And clearing a buffer, what do you mean clearing a buffer? Delete, so I'm pressing a key. For example, press a key, and you can see the command I just called is xar delete current text block. Or you can just call, keyword, there it is, keyword, to delete, and also backward keyword. You can see I can kill forward, or I can move cursor and kill backward. That's delete. So close this buffer, don't save, expand the buffer. So we are back here. So that's deleting text. What do you mean by clear the buffer? Okay. Okay, so Sam says, okay, but what I am seeing you do, I would consider on the level meta-programming. No, this is not meta-programming. I was talking in the high-level context in CPP and Java context. I'm not sure what you mean. So you know, C++ and Java, they are general purpose programming languages, while Emacs Lisp is a programming language that's kind of specialized for the Emacs text editor. So you have the insert concept. You can delete text, you can insert text into a buffer, into a file or a buffer or whatever, or in Emacs basically. Basically, you are working in the context of text editor. So you have a lot of functions that inserts text, delete text in this thing we call buffer. For example, delete a whole block of text, undo, and you also have the concept of undo, because the context is a text editor. That's what Emacs is, and Emacs Lisp, the code we are doing, the language Emacs Lisp is designed to work with the Emacs environment text editor. So you have a lot of functions that does text editing. Now in C++ and Java, those are general purpose languages. Those are not text editors. So you cannot you can insert a string, but you don't really where you're gonna insert. Either you print the string or something. So perhaps that answers your question. I want to understand the buffer dynamics in the case of runtime execution. Okay, I don't really know what you mean. Okay, I hope you are not trolling. Okay, I don't know what you mean. Have you used Emacs before? So if you have not, you should, because otherwise the whole thing doesn't make sense to you. Or if you have used Vim, maybe you'll understand. But I'm not sure Vim has a dynamic programming language. I mean, it has its own language called Vim script that allows you to customize Vim, but I'm not sure it's dynamic like we are doing here, like the Emacs Lisp. Okay, sounds good. So not trolling, great. Yeah, so if you are new to Emacs, I mean, at least you need to have some experience with Emacs. Then you need to get into Emacs Lisp programming. So Emacs Lisp programming, like what we are doing today, right now, is called text processing. Text processing. That means you manipulate text in files. You move files from one place to another place, things like that. Text processing programming, this task is one field, one category of programming, text processing. In fact, it's fairly important. For example, if you want to analyze your log, your web log or sort of log, Windows log, you need to find when did something happen. That's text processing. And for example, I have tons of files. For example, right now, all these are 10 files. Let's delete them. Okay. So for example, you have, a directory with thousands of files. You want to extract all emails in it. That's text processing. You want to find all links to Wikipedia. That's text processing. You want to generate a report containing all links, or for example, here's an HTML page, my programming blog. So suppose I want to extract all links in this page. There's hundreds of thousands of links. So for example, I can select the text block and watch the pink window. You'll see the command when I call it. Okay, so I do it. You see, there it is. So you see, all the URL are extracted at the bottom, you see, and that command is called XHTML extract URL. And we can look at the source code, cancel. So here it is, XHTML extract URL. And here is the source code. Let's open it. So here is the code here. So this is the emacs command written in emacs Lisp. And what does it do? It just given a piece of text, it just extract all URLs in it. So that's, again, this is text processing. That's what we are doing. That's huge part of emacs Lisp coding is about. Extracting, manipulating text processing, okay? Now let's go back to our problem. So we are going to, we are working on this command, but now the problem is we need the original directory. Okay, so let's get on. Drinking coffee. Wait, this is tea or coffee? Tea, I think. Wait. So anyway, let's get on. Coffee. That's not tea. That's coffee. I think. So let's get on. So right now I need a command to paste a text block with all the local links fixed. So in order to do that, the commands needs to know where the text block came from. That is the directory it came from. Okay, because otherwise it cannot fix related links. So the command needs to know where the text came from. So this is some kind of a interface issue. Because when you copy a piece of text, it's copied. So I can paste it. I can paste it again. Wait, copy, paste. When you copy something, there's no information about the directory where it came from. And you cannot, simply add it to part of the copy mechanism, because clipboard is not supposed to contain meta info. You can. Then you have to look into Microsoft Windows clipboard data structure or Emacs. That gets complex. Or depending on if you are on the Mac or on Linux, each one has a different data structure for clipboard. You want to find out, how do you embed meta information and extract it. That's too complex. So we don't want to do that. So what you can do is to, let me think about this, okay? Let me think about this for a while. So you basically, we have to think in terms of what you want, what I want. So what I want is just, working on my HTML source code. I want to move some block of text from one file to another. So we want to think of a convenient way to, what is the desired result? What is it we want in the most easy way? The desired result. We think about that first. Then we try to implement that. We try to get it to work, as opposed to think in terms of what the mechanism, what the emacs Lisp language can do, Because this way, when you think about the user first, then you have a good program. You want to be the user. What you want to do is the most important thing. This is a digression, but it's very important when you design functions or commands, because otherwise you would end up like Linux, where you have lots of commands, but each one is like they are very easy with respect to the operating system or with respect to the CPU. Extremely simple. But with respect to the user, you have to do this first, then call that command, then that command returns something, takes different arguments. Therefore, you need to find out the argument first, the type, then you do this. That's C and C++. Okay, those are crap. And also lots of the Unix commands are like that. ls, for example, move mv. M is for moving a file and also for rename. They are the same, they are the single command, but doing two different things. Well, because technically they are somewhat the same, so that's a problem. You don't want that. You want to think, when you design, when you start to write a command, not even about implementation. When you start to write a function or command in whatever task you do, you want to think of in terms of what the user want out of it. That's you begin. That's how you begin to design the command. Okay, that's important. So now I'm gonna read the comments in a bit. Okay, so now this command, user really just want to paste it. So how do you you see, a user really just want to paste a text. So what you can do is that you can have this command and simply paste, then it will prompt user. Oh yeah, so one of the ways prompt user, ask the user where that piece of text came from. Where does this piece of text came from? You prompt user and the user types a directory. That is no good, because oftentimes you don't remember. You don't want to require user to remember where he copied the text from. Okay, so actually I already know a solution, but let me talk about the solution. Okay, so instead of the command paste and fix local links, you write a command. Let's say move text here. Let's just say that. Okay, we write a command move text here. So how does that work? Let me show you. So let's go back to programming blog. Okay, so you are looking at my programming blog, and let's say I want to move this block of text to another file. So what I do is I split the buffer, go to the other file I want, for example, XAR index. Okay, so show in browser, that's xard.info homepage. So right now I can do is that I want to move this block of text to here. So now I can just call the command that xar move, and it will automatically move this, the current text block to wherever my cursor position is. Now, how would Emacs know where it came from? Well, simple, because in a window you just have two split panes. So this command will be designed for moving from one pane to the other. Okay, let's just do that. Okay. There are other ways. But let's just do this one. Okay. Okay, let's just do that. So we have something to work on. Instead instead of stuck on the design issue. Okay. So let's rename this command HTML move to other pane. Okay, so that's what we are going to write. Move the documentation, move the current text block of HTML from the current pane to the other pane. Okay, and to the other pane's cursor position. Okay, now if there is a text selection, use that, else use current text block. Text block is defined by a piece of text separated by empty lines. So for example, that's one text block. That's one text block. Okay, now if we remove the empty lines, then this is one text block. Okay, so either you make a selection. If you don't make a selection, by default you'll just be the current text block. Okay, that's what I yeah. Okay, so move the current text block or selection. Okay, so that's the command we're gonna write. Okay, so let's begin coding that. Now remove the other one. Then go back up. Hello, George. So what's up, George? George, go back to Emacs, go back to soft-like keys and start coding, start to learn Emacs Lisp. George is a great programmer. Okay. So Obadiah Macy says, so you get criticized for writing imperative-styled Emacs Lisp instead of idiomatic. A lot of your code could be condensed tenfold using idiomatic Emacs Lisp. That statement is so forced out of the shape, out of shape. I write. I've been coding Emacs Lisp. Okay, should I like do a focus on technical Emacs Lisp coding, or should I start to talk random? Let me address that question. Okay, Obadiah Macy. I can tell you don't code Emacs Lisp, because usually most of the criticisms are from people who don't really. I can tell. Let me make a guess. You don't have a, let's say, half a year experience of coding Emacs Lisp, do you? Like, I'm guessing. I might be wrong. Maybe you have 10 years, experience coding Emacs Lisp. If you do, say something. Say so. Your experience. So most of the criticism, not just to me, actually most of the things you see online, 90% of it is just crap. They never coded, Haskell. People have opinions about Lisp, about Haskell, about lots of things, but they actually never coded. They don't know. They don't, most of it. 90% of the comments on it's all like that. Now specifically for me, I've been coding Emacs Lisp for 15 years. Starting in 2006. So you'll see a lot. And so I've been coding Emacs Lisp at least 1 hour a day, every day, statistically speaking. Usually, I code several hours a day. But so for 15 years, I've been coding Emacs Lisp. That's one thing. That's one fact. Okay, because you can check. You can go. Let me ramble about this. Okay, because maybe that's more interesting. Oh Jesus, I have 12 viewers. Okay, now of those people watching, if you like me to go back on focusing on Emacs Lisp coding, say it, okay, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'm going to on a tangent about the criticisms about my Emacs Lisp code, okay? So I've been coding, that's one fact. First of all, one fact. I've been coding Emacs Lisp for 15 years. And my Emacs Lisp tutorial is the most practical and most voluminous, most complete Emacs Lisp detailed tutorial on the web. You will find nothing comparable, nothing, zero, okay? My Emacs Lisp tutorial has like 1,000 pages, okay? Emacs and Emacs Lisp combined. Let me go to it. Okay, so you can see my Emacs blog. So you drop into the directory. So here's the directory. So you can see go down all the way. So there are 800 pages now. Actually, that's not all. 800 in this directory. Then there is the miscellaneous essays. Okay, 150. So I have close to 900 articles on Emacs and Emacs Lisp. Okay, I mean, I also have complete Emacs manual here. Okay, so those are complete Emacs manual with the HTML prettified. Okay, so anyway, my original content there are about 1,000. Okay, 1,000 Emacs and Emacs Lisp articles. Okay, and for Emacs Lisp, I have a few hundred. You see all these files. All those are Emacs Lisp tutorials. For example, eLisp file functions. Let's open that one. Oh, that one page moved. That's split to, this page is about Emacs Lisp file functions. So let me just show you some example of my Emacs Lisp tutorial. So you can see it's split into how to read a file and also the part on how to write a file. So the point here is I have a lot of Emacs Lisp, complete tutorial on Lisp, the language basics, on practical Emacs Lisp, and tons of Emacs Lisp examples. These are independent, actual runnable code. You can just copy and paste it and you can use it right away. And then you have how to write the Emacs Lisp major mod, and with lots of my live stream since 3 years ago. Okay, so I've been coding Emacs Lisp for more than 15 years. 2, I have an Emacs Lisp tutorial online. That's the most comprehensive online on the internet. You will find nowhere close. Not even Emacs Lisp books, printed books. Okay, you go to Amazon, you can find a handful. I believe there are 2 Emacs Lisp. Not just Emacs. There's a difference between Emacs tutorial, Emacs books, versus the Emacs Lisp, the language books. Okay, in either case, there's not many. You'll find Emacs tutorial. You'll find a couple of books that's 20 years old. Okay, there's none. Okay, not counting the GNU Emacs manual. Okay, GNU Emacs manual and GNU Emacs Lisp manual. Those are the official ones. Each one is about 1,000 pages. We are not counting that, obviously, because that's the GNU official Emacs Lisp manual and Emacs Lisp manual. They are difficult to read. So anyway, they are, if you look for Emacs books, they are like a couple, 2 or 3, that's 20 years old, written in the 1990s. One is by ESR, Eric Raymond. Okay, anyway. And on Emacs Lisp, there's none. There are maybe 2 that new ones I'm aware of in the past 5 years. Okay, and you have to pay to buy them. Okay, so my point here is that my Emacs Lisp tutorial is the most comprehensive and the most popular. You just search for, you'll find it, the most popular and comprehensive Emacs Lisp tutorial on Earth, okay? On Earth, not just on the internet, on Earth, okay? So I coded Emacs Lisp for 15 years, and I have the most comprehensive and popular Emacs Lisp tutorial online. So I'm fairly popular when it comes to Emacs Lisp. Not many people do Emacs Lisp anyway, okay? So, but then you will find people criticize me. There's a lot of nasty, bad-mouthing about me. Do you know why? I can tell you why. Because I am a controversial person. Because I don't care about the typical white people, okay? Their mannerism, their view of things, okay? I attack whoever I find that's not good, okay? Opinions, I put out my opinion straightforward. I attack, or in the nice white man's term, I criticize the Emacs community severely, okay? Richard Stallman is a fuckhead. What his behavior, he's being a fuckhead. He's been the most responsible element that caused the stagnation of Emacs, that stopped the progress of Emacs and Emacs Lisp. The most powerful force in the past 10 years, Richard Stallman, okay, the guy who created Emacs. So that's just an example, and you can find all this in my blog, okay, that, those 9,000 pages. Let me show you, okay. So Emacs modernization, each one of these is criticism of Emacs problems and Emacs community. Emacs HTML.mod sucks. It sucks, not just sucks, it sucks donkey ass. It's a crime. Like when you talk to Emacs Lisp people, Emacs community, usually you'll hear, oh, Emacs is the best thing, Emacs is the best thing, this, that. Okay, one example, Emacs HTML mod sucks donkey ass. Well, this is written in 2008, okay? Today it's much more improved. Today you have HTML, kind of called HTML plus, a lot of history. So anyway, so my point is, so why do you see people online criticize me? Because I criticize lots of the Emacs community. I don't care who they are, I criticize. Now, whether my criticism is correct or not, it's up to you to judge. But what happens most of the time is as long as you start to criticize people, these fucking white people, okay, let me just be straight about it. They started to, distance themselves from you. Because what you do is not like conformant to their way of thinking. They say, we are multiculturalism. We are here to help the world. In fact, they do a lot of damage. Okay, they only care about promoting themselves. Okay, a lot of the Emacs community people, it's normal. It's like a code. It's a code, the Emacs code, and you can see the same thing in Python code. In Lisp code, in Haskell code. Okay. You know it. It's there. It's right there. And today in Rust community, the Rust language code, each one, if you are there, they just promote. They think their thing is the best thing. Okay, but lots of it is just wrong. It's not true. Okay, so the reason you see a lot of people attack me, they badmouth without. Most of it is actually without solid content. When you criticize, you gotta have content. So people can judge. You say this is this 1, 2, 3. People can, and you have to give your reasons. That's what criticism means. Okay, criticism doesn't mean just bitch around. Oh, this sucks, that sucks. Okay, most of the Malaysian and Zoomer do that online. On Reddit, on Hacker News, oh, this sucks, oh, that sucks, You have to give reason, so people can verify, check, whether it's correct. How do you verify? First of all, you have to be qualified, So if you want to criticize Emacs Lisp, or my emacs Lisp code, you gotta be, first of all, qualified for it. You have to have at least some emacs Lisp coding experience, okay? But most of the criticism attacking me, just not. There's no content. Okay, so I've been coding emacs Lisp for 15 years. My emacs Lisp tutorial is, it's the best on earth, okay? But why are there? But then another fact is that there are a lot of people criticizing me. And what's my response? Why? If you are so good, if you are so helpful, why is so many people criticize you? Well, my answer is because I attack, and I not just in some way I don't just criticize, I attack them. Meaning that I do not conform to the normal, polite way of doing things. Okay, I just call them fuckhead. This idiot. Okay, this idiot, that idiot. Okay, that's what in some way you can say I'm not doing the right thing. I'm not, I'm not being cordial. I'm not being, my mannerism. You could say that's a problem, but still, my criticism, I would say, most of the time is correct. Anyway, that is the reason. That's my response. That's why you see a lot of people criticize my things. Okay, and many things they criticize is just wrong. They don't know things. They are just the part of the emacs code or emacs Lisp code, whatever language, Python code. Like you can see this sometimes, like, when you have different communities, one community says this thing is the best, the other community says that thing is the best, but these two best things, they are not compatible. You can see that yourself. So that is my response to the criticisms. As to the specific criticism, it's just very silly. Like for example, it says, my emacs Lisp is imperative styled emacs Lisp. That's the most silly to me, because the reason I like emacs Lisp is precisely because functional programming, and I despise imperative style. Okay, meaning procedural style, and I despise procedural languages, C++, C, Java. This, and Python too. This, and OOP. This. If you watched any of my video, you'll see I attack them so much. But then I got the criticism. Oh, my emacs Lisp is imperative style. What the fuck? Show me an example. Show me where on my page where I actually have one imperative style emacs Lisp that could be done the other way. That's better. Show me one. Okay, so these idiotic opinions, I don't know where did you read that. And I monitor, I'm aware of what people say. Let me show you, since we are talking about this. XRD, just search for. There are some people, they are scums. Okay, for example, I know this one happened recently on Reddit. Okay, there's one guy bad mouthing me. So Reddit XRD Lisp, you'll find it. There it is, this one, okay? r/Lisp, one of the Reddit, Lisp community, common Lisp, basically. These are common Lisp phonetics. The title is Responses to this Post, Famous Programmers on How Common Lisp Sucks. Okay, let me show you that one. There you have there's one scum. He goes by the name LispM. That's his handle. Okay, that's his online handle. LISPM. That guy is a scumbag. Okay, this guy I know for 15 years. Okay, since 2003 also. That guy. Let me show you where. Okay, so here is the article. Okay, here is let me explain. Okay, So first of all, turn on JavaScript. Okay, we are digressing, and we are not going to, looks like we are not going to continue the Lisp coding anymore, because, to code this, and I gotta, anyway, let's talk about the emacs Lisp criticism, this online culture crap. Let me say again, a good advice, 90% of the time, whatever you read online is just totally crap by idiots, literally, okay? People don't know what they are talking about. If you are really serious, read books, okay? Read books, or there are some qualified people. For example, if you want to know emacs Lisp, okay, I am one of the source, okay? You can learn from me, but you can also learn from others. So if you think, oh, XAR maybe is too controversial, you think I'm doing imperative coding shit, okay, that's good opinion, okay? There are a lot others, but who to follow? Follow those who have actually coded emacs Lisp for 10 years. For example, a lot of the Emacs dev, you go to the GNU Emacs, just search for GNU Emacs mailing list, each one of them coded emacs Lisp for some more than me, 20 years, 30 years, some of them, and a lot new ones also very good, so those people, you follow those people. So I can challenge with one question. Did you ever find one of them? Which one of them? Those people who actually have emacs Lisp experience. Did you find them, those people, qualified emacs Lisp coders, actually emacs Lisp expert, actually have a problem with my code? There are some of them. Show me the message. Then I will argue why I think I'm correct, okay? But first of all, show me one of such message, So anyway, back to, so let me give you guys the advice, okay? 90% of the time, if you are a programmer, you read, online stuff, those are just crap, okay? Those are shit opinions, those are opinions from idiots. They don't have expertise. They don't know what they are doing. They don't know. They just, drama. Drama is the thing that gets things the most popular, drama, okay? So instead, you want to follow, for example, if you want to learn emacs Lisp, or if you want to see opinions about what style is good in emacs Lisp, things like that, you want to follow people who are qualified. And that means, at a minimum, that person must be coding emacs Lisp for a year at least, Or you can judge by, you can judge by their experience, by what they have written, the packages they have actually written, okay? You want to follow those, okay? Now what I've said is very basic, anyone have a brain knows, but instead we often have the online crowd, drama. They just spread things, fake things, okay, fake news. So let me go back to this post, okay? So this post, what's going on is that, Reddit being so bad, now if you don't have cookies, they hide everything. It's hard to show stuff, okay? So anyway, what happened here, this is a month ago. So someone posted an article I wrote, okay? So this is the article. Famous programmers on how common Lisp sucks. Okay, this is an article I kind of edited and collected from this source, from this guy. Okay, he's a big criticizer of common Lisp, and this is 15 years ago. This blog happened in 2012. Okay, 10 years ago. So I wrote this anyway. Let me get to the. Let me be short. Okay, so I wrote this article. This article is a collection of the top emacs Lisp, of the top Lisp, common Lisp experts. Their criticism on Lisp, on common Lisp, okay, including Guy Steele. Guy Steele is essentially the founder of Lisp, okay? Guy Steele. If you name the top one greatest, top five, Guy Steele is one of them, okay? Guy Steele, famous for Scheme Lisp and other lots of other things, okay? So many of these people criticized Common Lisp. There we have Richard Stallman. There we have Rodney Brooks, Richard Gabriel. Richard Gabriel is a guy who participated in Common Lisp standard, okay, I think. But he's the founder of Lucid Emacs, which is today X-Emacs. Today you don't even know because X-Emacs also died, but he's lots of history, okay. He's known for worse is better, okay, the concept worse is better, which spread by JWZ, the most dramatic guy, Jamie Zoinski, you probably heard of, famous for Netscape, a hacker. That's originally the worse is better is from Richard P. Gabriel's article, okay. But it became popular because JWZ spread that article. So Richard Gabriel. Then you also Paul Graham. Paul Graham. Famous for selling. He coded Common Lisp. He wrote a online store, one of the first one or the first one, sold it to Yahoo for some millions of dollars, and he started Hacker News. Paul Graham. Daniel Weinreb is one of the first Emacs user. Is one of the first who wrote Emacs in Lisp. Okay, not Richard Stallman. Daniel Weinreb is the first who wrote Emacs that with the Lisp language in it. Okay, so anyway, these people, Guy Oscan, I don't know much about him. These are famous people. These people are the top, let's say the top 10 experts of Common Lisp. Okay, and they criticized Common Lisp. They say Common Lisp sucks. Okay, so I also despise Common Lisp. I think Common Lisp sucks, and part of the reason is the Common Lisp people, the fanatics, the fuckheads, they spread false things. Okay, but Common Lisp, the language, on technical aspect, I think it sucks. I will never use Common Lisp. Okay, so I collect this article because to support, I like it. Because I think Common Lisp sucks, and these famous top Common Lisp experts share my opinion, or I agree with them. Okay, so I collected this. Now, of course, to the Common Lisp fans, they get annoyed. They get very annoyed because this Xali put, because of this, I put together this article. Of course, Common Lisp people will not like it. Therefore, this is old, by the way, this is 2012. Therefore, the Zoomer generation, let me show you the Zoomer generation, this Reddit, okay. So they found, because I started to do YouTube, so they started to notice my articles, part of the marketing thing, So they, let's show it, okay? Let's show it in Brave browser, because in Brave browser I have cookies on. Oh God, stuck. What's going on? Am I still going? Okay, there it is, okay? So this Reddit article, so this guy who saw, who shared the post to Reddit, Lisp community, Lisp room. Basically, these scums, the Common Lisp people, which I despise, the Common Lisp community, they want to think Common Lisp is the Lisp. Okay, back then there's a war between Common Lisp and Scheme Lisp, but the Common Lisp fuckheads, they want to think of the Lisp as the Common Lisp is the Lisp. Okay, the other Lisps they are something else. Like the Common Lisp fuckheads. I despise the Common Lisp community and the language, mostly because of these people, these online, basically they don't represent all Common Lisp programmers. They are just like the loud bunch, okay? So anyway, some guy, what's his name? So some guy, let's see, do we have a, can we show, these days the Reddit becomes so corrupted. They don't show the names and stuff, okay? So this guy, Friedrich Raymond, I suppose he's a young guy, millennium or something. He discovered my article, so he shared here and asking people response to this post, famous programmers on how Common Lisp sucks. He want to know, of course, if you are a fan, then you saw a damning article about your favorite language, then you want to know, hey, what's going on? So he posted, shared to the Reddit and, asked people's opinion. Okay, so you can see this is how you can see some of the funny things, the brainless code phenomenon, So most of them, after you read them, most of them will tell you their answer is that, oh yeah, well, first of all, Ksadi is a troll. Okay, don't pay attention to Ksadi. That's half of them, a minority of them will say that, okay? And even the guy is aware of it, he's aware of it. He says, where is his, but anyway, so the other half will say, oh yeah, those criticisms are old. That's what they say. They will say, oh, those criticisms, yeah, those are made by, famous Common Lispers, the fathers, those are the fathers of Common Lisp, okay? Get that. They will just say, oh yeah, but those are, you can ignore it because they don't apply anymore. Things have changed, after 20 years, things have changed, they don't apply. Half of them will say that. Now that is wrong, that is incorrect, okay? That is incorrect. Yeah, it is true. Things have, 20 years, 10 years, 20 years has passed. Programming language has changed. The scene of programming languages and CPU, they, to various degrees, they would all change. But most of the criticisms about Common Lisp, okay, let's go back to it. Most of the criticisms about Common Lisp still correct, okay? In fact, many of them still applies. It's worse. It's even worse. Because in the past 10 years, there are so many new languages, or old language with much more fanfare and much more power in coding. Haskell, for example. Haskell is like 30 years old. But in the past 10 years, there's tremendous new blood and new compilers or whatever. JavaScript, another example. JavaScript is 25 years old. There's tremendous new things, and also new languages, But Common Lisp, no improvement, basically, essentially, effectively, realistically speaking, comparatively speaking. Compare Common Lisp to all the other new one, the other one has 10 times and 100 times more activity. Common Lisp is like dead, okay? Dead. But then on Reddit, you'll see, this code phenomenon, because they are fans of Common Lisp. You'll see them say, oh yeah, those are just no longer true. Idiotic. But the most that's normal, okay? That's what you see every day, the dribbles online, especially in code, fanboy situation. But the most offensive guy, there's this guy, okay? Lisp M. Let me show you. This is a scumbag. I don't just mean he's a bad human, bad person, okay? This guy, okay? This guy, this M, is a scumbag. He's a German. He's a German guy. His name is because he has always been, whenever my name appears online, he'll just attack me, badmouth me, Let me show you that article. I know him actually. I was this name. Okay, let me show you. Actually, his name is on my blog. Okay, let's just go to let's search. What's his name? Let me find it. Okay, search it. His name is he's old. He's like 70 years old, maybe 60 or 70 old. This machine fanatic. Okay, his name is there, Rainier Joswick. Okay, there it is. That's him. Rainier Joswick goes by the name Lisp M. And this guy, about 2012, 10 years ago, I was dying of hunger in USA. And then he posted something on Hacker News. You can still find it on Hacker News. Xali, around 2012, okay, 2012. And he'll just say, oh yeah, that's good. Xali, he been trolling, and so it's good that he died now. Something like that. Something to that effect. And he will keep saying, oh, Xali, his code is just copy and paste from somebody else. A lie. Okay? A malicious lie. Illegally a lie. That's I can sue him for defamation. This Rainier Joswick scum. This guy. Okay? This M. Let me show you where he's mentioned. Okay, so so this one is new, just last month. Okay, let's see. Search for XAR. You see, we he says, for example, this guy. I don't know who this guy. I despise these people using pseudonyms. This anonymous fucks. Then okay, rainbow, rainbow flag. It's anonymous fucks, no responsibility. So he says, I clicked the link, then realized it was Xali. His opinions can be safely dismissed. Okay, but what's your reason? What's your content? None. Okay, so. And there are some people defending, me. Thank you guys. Okay. Now this M, then this man, the Rainier Joswick says, especially given that this stuff had been collected by William James, another nasty troll. Okay. But anyway, there's another part where he you see, Xali is just a troll. What does it mean, a troll? They don't like it because when you criticize a community, they just don't like it. They don't like whatever you say. This guy, that this reply would be considered good. He says, I know Xali is a bit controversial figure in these circles, but some of the quotes there are from really technical, knowledgeable people. For example, Rodney Brooks and Paul Graham. They are not just technical, knowledgeable people. They are the father of Common Lisp. Okay, these people I quoted, famous people who criticize Common Lisp. They are not just knowledgeable. They are the father. They are the founder of Common Lisp. The fucking idiots, Malaysian Zoomer idiot. Okay, here is the Rainier Joswick scum. Look, this is where he defame, he libel legally me. Okay, he says Xali has trolled com.land, Lisp, and other groups for a decade or longer without actually having done any Lisp programming and without knowing much of Lisp. In recent years, he wrote some emacs Lisp tutorials. That's how he characterized me. What a fucking lying scum. But notice now he's being a little bit kind than last time. Now he says, in recent years, he wrote some emacs Lisp tutorials. At least that's a little bit positive, In recent, this guy, Xali don't know any Lisp, but in recent years, he wrote some emacs Lisp tutorials. What a fucking scum. Because 10 years ago, he posted on Hacker News when I was dying of hunger, asking for help. He just badmouthed me. He says, I never coded any Lisp. That's just patently false, fucking scum. Then he does some explanation. Now this guy, this Lisp M, okay, Lisp M stands for Lisp machine. That's his handle. This guy, Rainer Jostwick. Now this Rainer guy is an old guy, okay, maybe 60 something or 70 years old. He's a Lisp machine fanatics. So he has experience from 40 years ago, from 80s or something. So he does know what he's talking about. Okay, he does know, and oftentimes you read his stuff. Actually, many of them are useful information. Okay, so but then he's a common Lisp fanatic. So often you'll see kind of tainted information because he'll spin it to the way positive. Okay, so he will explain why Richard Stallman dislike emacs Lisp, common Lisp, and blah blah blah. Some of the points are valid. Okay, so that's it. I think that's it for today. So you guys watching, say something, okay? I think that's it for today. Emacs Lisp coding turned out into a rant, and attacking some of these, my enemies, scum. Not, it's not like there are a lot, Basically, I find the most offensive just this guy, The other guys, they just say I'm a troll. That's very common, You say lots of things about people online, and I accept it. For example, this one, Xadi is just a troll, and some will say, oh, just ignore Xadi, But this guy, this M, Rainer Jostwick, what he is doing is malicious lie. Okay, that is malicious lie. That's legally different from the others. Okay, I think I'm shut down in a minute or two. So back to the original, whoever, Obadiah Macy. So what do you say? Now you have, now I give like 1 hour response to your question. What do you say? Do you think am I reasonable? Do I make sense? Or am I like lying and total bullshit? Say something. Say answer. Yeah, so many guys, you guys supporting me. Thank you. Okay, so that's it for today. We didn't get to finish coding Lisp, coding what we wanted to do, but that's okay because I planned it to be a slightly random chat anyway. Because when you code is something more complex, few people really appreciate it. Because we see comments, we get people never use even you haven't used Emacs before, so coding this, that's what happens with online YouTubers. Sometimes you'll see, usually it's the case, YouTubers, you'll find YouTubers teaching Python, teach you programming, teach you Java, a lot, tons of it. And many of them, they have millions of viewers. My video, 100 views or 1,000 views. But if you search, let's talk random, okay? YouTube. You search for Python tutorial, you'll see millions of views. Python tutorial. Let me show you some of it. Python full course, 30 million views. Oh, Jesus. Python in 4 hours, full course, 37 million views. Oh, Jesus. Python 020, 3 million views 1 year ago. God, Jesus. I must be an idiot. Python 3.4 programming tutorial. What is this? How many views? Playlist. Okay, you get a picture. JavaScript. So why do they? So what they do? So most of these are idiotic tutorials. Okay, their audience is for people who never programmed before. But these people, like mom and pop or whatever, they heard, programming can make a lot of money. You should get into STEM, be a programmer, make a lot of money. So that's why you have 30 million views. If you actually start to talk about technical stuff, algorithms, the real thing about a programming language, you don't get, you'll be lucky if you have 1 million views, a few of them. They are good ones, okay? They are good. Some of them are really good, and I'm not criticizing this neither, because obviously if you do something for complete programmers, you have lots of viewers. Your audience is broad. So what's my point? So what I was saying, so I was just saying, I was coding this, but you won't find another. Basically, you won't find another coding like in depth like what I'm doing. You just get introduction to emacs Lisp. So Abadia Macy says, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I was never against you in any way, hence me saying, do you agree with the criticism? Okay, thank you. I'm glad to hear. Okay. So I would say some of the criticism, okay, maybe 5%. I would say they are reasonable, or on certain things I do. For example, let me give you an example. For example, I use sigil for variable names. Sometimes you'll see it in my code. For example, I can show you. So this is source code to Starfly keys. One of my most popular 4,000 lines of code. So you can see, I use a $sign for variable names, starting with $sign. And why do I do that? I explained in lots of my articles. Just search for Xali sigil or search for Xali variable naming. And in fact, last week, one video before, I explained live why do I do that. Okay, using variable names starting with a $sign. Now this is very unconventional. This is, the typical Lisp coders, they don't like that, because this is not a Lisp convention. This convention came from Perl and PHP. Okay, but however, I do it. Why? So in a sense, I'm breaking the community standard. In each programming language, you typically have a community idioms and guideline. So you will not see, a variable with a $sign in front. That's not this convention. Okay. But I do that. So you can immediately say, I'm kind of, breaking the convention. I'm kind of out of ordinary. Okay, so some of the you'll sometimes see criticism. source code have a $sign in front. What the fuck? You will not see that anywhere else in Lisp code. Okay, not in emacs Lisp, not in scheme Lisp, not in racket Lisp, not in common Lisp, not in closure Lisp. You will not see this. Okay, so first of all, there are criticisms of me doing that. So that can be valid. Okay, but I do have a reason. I have my own reasons why I do that. Okay, and I explained in lots of my articles. For example, and I explained in my last video. For example, let's go to it. Okay, so XR Talk Show. Let's go to it, and you can see XR Talk Show a few days ago. Okay, the title is Sigil in Lisp Closure. Okay, I explained why I personally do this, and if you search for, let's go to xrd.info. Okay, xrd.info search and search for Sigil. Okay, you can see I have several blogs about it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, closure Sigil meaning Sigil for variable names, where I explain why I use it. Okay, and Sigil word language design and coding convention. Okay, and then you have the Perl. This came from Perl. Perl made it the most popular Perl programming language. Okay, so now let's go to my articles. So you can see this one explains the Sigil enclosure. This one explains the Sigil for variable names. This reasons, analysis. Why is it good? Why is it bad? But it's not conventional. Should you do it? I give my reasons. Okay, if you want to criticize my reasons, not just XR is a troll. Okay, that's it. That's no good. Okay, and there's more. The Sigil words, language design and coding convention. You analyze. So what is a coding convention? Why is it good? Is it always good? Ask your questions. Okay. And what are the variable naming? So, for example, Perl uses a $sign. Can we use something else? Can we use, for example, Greek letter? What does it do? What's the effect? Why should we stick with the $sign? Is it because it's easier to type on the keyboard? Because if you use a math symbol, a Greek letter, it's hard to type. And the English speakers, the monolingual, they don't know what it is. So all these are philosophy of coding, but most people they don't know, they never seen it. This is what the fuck is this? XR is weird. That's their reaction. They'll just say XR is just a troll. That's it. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. And a lot more, so not just these articles. I explained in full detail and analysis, okay, Sigil. And let me show you, okay, so variable naming, okay, so here, okay. Let me show you a few articles. Variable naming, English words considered harmful, okay. Now, this is one of my characteristics. This is one of the reasons why you see a lot of people say XR is a troll. Okay, well, that title is dramatic. Okay, I admit, but I give you reasons. Okay, this page is 2,000 words. For example, in mathematics, math. Okay, let me show you. You see this, let me show you some code, okay? You see, that's math, You probably have seen these, right? Calculus, right? Have you seen in math, they are using X, Y, and Z. Have you seen mathematics that use, full variable names? Like this is something, this is domain from something. No. Usually in mathematics, everything is just one single letter. Okay, so there's a lot more. Okay, I have endless articles, endless. For example, let me show you this one. You see these math characters? In mathematics, they use one single letter, almost always. Okay, not just that. That's not enough. They even go as far as using like strange font letters. For example, R is for real number, the real number set, the field of real numbers. Q is rational numbers. Okay, did I get that right? Okay, here's Z is the integers. Okay, and this double stroke N stand for natural numbers. Okay, so you can see Q is for rational numbers. Okay, R represent real numbers. Okay, C, these double stroke characters. So do you in math, do you see, how come they don't type the whole thing, full words? So why is it? Then the question is, why is it in mathematics you stick with single letter? Why is it in programming you use full letters? Have anyone ever thought about it? Ask yourself, have you ever seen a Stack Overflow question, or on Hacker News, or on Reddit, r/Lisp, these idiots, common Lisp idiots? Have you ever seen they ever ask that question even? Why? Because they don't think. Okay, well, there are a lot of people do think. Computer scientists are a lot. So what I'm saying is that so I also thought about this. So I went in depth. I went in depth on the sequel, on the variable naming thing. Let's go back to the article. Variable naming, English words considered harmful, and I actually tried for half a year to program in a programming language, in JavaScript, to follow the math convention using just one single letter for variables and function names. I experimented, and I write out, what's the result, what happens when you do that. I explain here. First of all, why do I want to avoid English words? English words such as a list. If you name your variable, if you define if you want to assign a list to a variable, sometimes you can say list, or sometimes X equals to something. Which one should you do? So analysis, you study, you research, and then so I have lots of reasons and explanations. Okay, I think I should go. Then there's also, naming of variables. That's not a small topic. Okay, in some sense it's trivial, but in some sense it's not. Okay, there's a predicate in programming language naming. Okay, predicate mean, for example, in Lisp, in Common Lisp and emacs Lisp, you will often see function names ending in P. Okay, bound P, buffer modified P, const P, f-bound P, feature P, file directory P. Those are called predicate. Predicate means, again, in programming languages, predicate means a function that returns either true or false. Nothing else. It's return either true or false. That's what predicate means. And emacs Lisp and Common Lisp follows that convention. Okay, naming of things. Predicate in programming language and naming. Okay, in Scheme Lisp and Closure Lisp, they use a convention ending in question mark. Okay, now in Wolfram language, they use a convention ending in Q, capital Q. Q here means question. Okay, so you can see this is part of the syntax issue. Naming of variables, naming of functions is kind of part of the syntax issue and has to do with the sigil we are talking about. Because the sigil we are putting a question mark, a standard way to prefix variable names, while in the predicate case, it's a standard way to postfix a character or a symbol after the name of the function. Okay, so you can see there are different conventions. Okay, and then you can go on to analysis. Which one is better? In what way? Okay, that's predicate in programming language names, and there is Ruby. Okay, Ruby follows the question mark convention. Okay, so that's about predicate. Then you also have naming of things in programming languages, such as list vector array. Very confusing things. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Bye, guys. So if you like my stuff, go to my website, okay, xali.info. Pay me, Patreon, PayPal. And if you like this video, some part of it you liked, get the URL timestamp and post it, okay, to your blog, share it to your Twitter. Thank you. Bye, guys. Shut down in 1 minute, for real, okay? Let me shut down in 1 minute. So I'm just gonna get some of the links into today's talk show, so we have a record of what I talked about today. So this page is the math font. Okay, copy it, close it. This Wolfram language typesetting, okay, paste it. Variable name prefix, sigil, Perl. Perl is a language that made sigil popular, and Perl is a language that actually popularized the name sigil. Because before Perl, you don't have a jargon for this kind of thing Perl is doing. Perl is the first one. The Perl mongers, the Perl code, they started to spread sigil. They gave it the name sigil, and this sigil you can look up on Wikipedia. I've read it, of course. You can look up on Wikipedia. They'll give you detail where it came from. Sigil etymology. Sigil, it came from. It's a jargon that refers to a magic, in some kind of magic context. You can read Wikipedia. So Perl sigil, and then of course it came to PHP, because PHP stands for Pretty Home Page. In the beginning, it's just some script of Perl by a teenager, Pretty Home Page, and later on when PHP became the most popular language around 2000s, they changed it to fake news, to PHP is hypertext processor, blah, blah, blah. PHP is pretty home page. My pretty home page, look. Fuck the computer programmer scums. The naming of listings in computer languages, close it, and this page predicate in programming languages. And variable naming English words considered harmful. This is quite an article, I would say, because I started to do this and I actually spent half a year coding in a different way to realize, I realized you cannot, in programming languages, in a typical programming language, you cannot name your variables or functions by a single letter or two. That won't work. Why? Read this article, okay? You cannot. Unless you have a specialized language, then you can, such as APL. APL. In APL, the language, every function is one single character. So, yeah, so you can go find out why. What is this? Copy. Go back here. Paste. Closure signature meaning. Bye.